Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. So this is the second part of the Rust Async series, and so in the second part we are going to see the HTTP, the async HTTP client, and we will see the different example. We will check different examples. So before starting, let me check the directory structure. So there is this code in the main.rs file. This is the part first code, and I actually want to make everything clean, and I don't want to like write all the code in the one place, because if someone want to start from the part one, that code should be in a separate file, so there should be any kind of a problem for anyone for learning, and everything should be clean. So for I think for that we should have to like create the new folder inside the source. Should be a bin, and inside the bin we will create the what we can say that the part first, and the video title was, I think, yeah, it's fundamentals, yeah, fundamentals.rs, and we will create that. And as you can see in the main file we have the part first code. Let's grab it and paste it here. So we have the code now, and from the main file I think we will remove everything and just use main function here. So we testing first hello from the main file. Okay, let's first test this file. So we have the bin directory. What we can do now, let me close this, and now if we try to run cargo run, this will not work because we have created the bin folder, and we have to do cargo run direct bin, and the project name is async demo. This will run the main file, so it will compile, and I don't know why it's taking so much. Yeah, because we have changed the file. So hello from the main file. And for the fundamental part, for the part first, if you are watching the first part, you should have to run like to run dash bin, and what's the part one, fundamentals, and nothing else. Okay, so there were 1 2 3 4 A example. After that there will be 4B, and done. Okay, so it means everything is working. So now our coding instruction is clean. So in the main file we will code the part second for now, and after completing it we will move it to the separate part 2 file. Okay, so what for the and by the way, if you haven't watched the part first, please go and watch that part. Link is in the description, because this part will depend on that first part, and so you should have the idea, because I will not explain the things like some kind of like a sequential or concurrent or any kind of things like which I have explained in the part first. Okay, so in this part, let's just think what we can do. We need, because this is the HTTP client, and obviously we need some kind of the endpoint. For that, I think let me like search for any kind of the, because we can say that JSON free, or we can say the API endpoint free, and this is the JSON placeholder.typecode.com. This is a free fake and reliable API for testing and prototyping. Let me scroll down. Okay, so we have the resources. First one is the post. I think we should have to use the post one for simplicity, and also we have the routes, and for the post one, let's click on that. So we have the post one, and what this JSON have the user ID, which is 1, and ID obvious, of course, this object ID, and title in the body. Okay, so let's, and also one more thing, I think we should have to like for the every part have its own dependencies for that reason, and should have to add something to this file, like we can say that part 1, which is the fundamentals, and also then we have the cargo.toml dependencies. Okay, and what we have dependencies, let's search for the cargo.toml file. So for the part first, we have the dependency of, which is, okay, so we have these dependencies of Tokio. So I have added the comment because if someone is watching the part first, that person should have an idea that only dependency for this complete code for the part first is the Tokio, create nothing else. And okay, let me save this. Okay, dependencies only have the Tokio. So now we will open the main file, and okay, so we have the Tokio. Of course, the function should be, you should have to add the attribute. Now it's the Tokio runtime, and also we need to add the async part. So what now? Okay, so main function, this function should I think, yeah, it should return the result, yeah, of course, and also because we are dealing with the request, there should be an endpoint, and there will be a like a get or the post request, and there are many possibilities of a different kind of errors. For that I will define the box to define the errors on the heap, the error value on the heap, just the and it should be a dynamic STD, and error waiting is there, and now everything is fine. Okay, is there any oh yeah, there is one missing, so now we are good to go. Okay, so we have the Tokio async function. So let's create the first example. Example one will be a simple, we can say that simple get request, and the function will be async function. Function name will be simple get request, and the return type will be result, and again the box. Okay, so now what? So we need a URL for that. Let's create a URL, and URL will be of a type string slice. And what's the URL? URL, we will grab the URL from here, and we will just paste it. So now we have the URL, and before, I think we should have to prompt the user. Prompt will be called, and also the prompt should be changed here as well, and it should be called the HTTP, or we can say that async HTTP client. Okay, so this is the main, and for the simple get request part, we can say that example one simple get request. Okay, so now we have the URL. Okay, so what we need, so there is one crate to handle the HTTP get post or any kind of the request. We need one crate called the request crate, and let me first save it and go in the browser and open search for the request crate. Okay, so this is our request crate. We need to add that, and we already have the Tokio, so we don't need to add the Tokio. But what we can do, we can go to the toml file. Also, I think we can add the like this kind of the Tokio dependencies is we need the throughout our app for all the parts. So core dependency across all the examples. We can say that. And what we need now, this should be an HTTP. So we have added the HTTP and let's save it. Now what we can do, we can search for the main again. So now we have the URL. Okay, so for that, what we can say now, we have added the request, and I think we should have to build it as well. Okay, so that grade gets added. Now I think we'll have the IntelliSense for that. Yeah, we'll use the URL and URL will have to, what we can have, so get and await for that. So this is the async approach, and we have added the question mark to handle any kind of the errors. Now we can say that, sorry, my bad. And what we can do now, we just simply have to, okay, so also there should be another prompt saying that what we can do, fetching will be, we can put the URL, and for the another print we can say that response status, and the status not, and we only need the status function, and we need the body. On the response you can easily get the text and again the await as well, and just print and what we get, body will be body, nothing else. So this is our simple get request function, and let's just call this function on line 4, on line 5. You can say the simple get request dot await, and also we have to use the question mark because request can generate any error. Maybe there's a network error or any kind of other errors, we should have to handle it. So let's test this. Okay, and this time we are going to use directly call the main.rs file just by calling the go run, because we have created the bin folder. So let's just say the bin and it's demo. Let's wait for it. Okay, so if you open the endpoint, you can see we have the user ID, title and the body. Now check the terminal. We have the user ID, title and body, so it's working perfectly fine. So our simple get request is working, and also this is an example 1, and so let just fine. Okay, fine. So now let's create the another example. This was a simple get request. We should have to create another function which should give us the response in the format of the JSON, and we will the response will be in JSON format, and we should have to deserialize it to a struct. And for that reason I think what we can use for the, also we should need the there are 2 more traits which we need to handle the serialize and deserialization of the part, which is called the Serde and Serde JSON. Let me search for that. Serde create, and we will search for the Serde. I think it's a JSON create. Okay, Let's search for these grades. Now we need to edit. Also, we need to wait for the derive part as well before the serializing, setting up a derive. So let me first, we can say that we will open the cargo.tom file and we will say that serialization, and for the serialization part we can say that Serde and origin will be 1.0, and we need the features as well, which will be the derived feature. Okay, and another thing, I think we will add the from the cargo add search JSON. Okay, it's not the right. Let me again, if there's anything needed, also this is okay, and cargo add search JSON. Okay, and let's check. Yeah, so the JSON gets added. So now in the main part, okay, so we will create an example second. Let's make some room here first. An example second will be fetch JSON, yeah, and async function called the fetch JSON. A simple name will be fine. Okay, and box will be dynamic and STT error. Okay, so for that part again we need the URL, and I think for all the examples we need the URL. For that reason I think we should have to make it common, like somewhere on top of here we can say that const URL should be a string slice, and we grab that URL from here. We can say that. And also I think we should need the base URL. For the ID part we will not have to grab it. And what we can say, we need to remove that. Okay, so now we have the URL, and for the part first I think we should have to use it as well. We will use the format macro, and what we can say, we can say that the URL and the / will be 1. Nothing so fancy, but I think this, yeah, this will return the string. Yeah, it will return, it creates a string, so we have to change the type. Okay, it's fine I think now. Let's try to run the example one again, so we actually confirm that it's working or not. Yeah, it's working perfectly fine. So we have made our the URL common, so every time we shouldn't have to write it again and again. And this is the second part. We will prompt the user. Now what happened? Why it's not? Okay, so we will prompt the user by saying that new line, and it's an example yeah2, which is the fetch JSON. Okay, so we have the example 2. Now we need to create the URL. For that and say that string macro and URL / and again we will call it 1. Okay, so we have the URL now. Okay, so what we need to do now, for the JSON part we can say that also I think we should have to create the struct here. We have created the Serde and the JSON. Let's create the struct for the we are getting using the endpoint of the post endpoint. You can say the post, and now as you can see, I think there is it's a user ID camel case, and for the conventional or the simplicity part, or to make everything align with the Rust, the keys will be in a camel case. So I will show you how to change that as well. We will use the Serde, and we can say that rename equal to, what do we have to rename? We have to rename the user ID, and now we can easily say the user ID unsend32, and what else? We have the title, which will be of the string, and we have the body, which will be of the type string again, and we have the ID. Also, I think we should create the ID here, unsend32. And we need to add the, again, yeah, we have to introduce the derived. It should be a debug, and also we need to not deserialize because we have to deserialize it. Deserialize. Okay, so it's working fine now. So we have the post now. Let's say that we have post and we have the request. Request will be dot. Oh, it's not giving me any kind of the intelligence. Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, my bad. I have used the, and we have the URL. URL will be dot await, and we can say that dot JSON and dot await again. Okay, and also, yeah, we don't have to do anything. We should have the post. This is a JSON. We should have to. We have added the debug thread, but also we need to make it pretty. For that reason, we can say that. Okay, so let's call this function again. Also, it's not showing that it's used. Let me call this fetch JSON.await, and let's try to test it. Async demo. Okay, fields in the struct, and we got the example1, example2, which is the post, and of type post, user ID 1, title and body, everything is fine. It's fine. Only thing we have to add the, I think we should have to add the, there was another attribute called the dead, no, what do we have, allow, I think. Allow is it? Yeah, it's allow dead code. Maybe this time we will not get any kind of the warning. Yeah, warning gets removed. So example1, example2, it's running fine. Fetch JSON. Also we have well, let me check the .conf file again. So we have the series of JSON. I don't think so we should need anything else for this example. screen here, so also we need to open the other documentations as well, because for the documentation for the Tokio, and we don't need the request or the Serde. Let me close it down. And also we don't need the type code placeholder. Okay, so let's now move to another example. So we have the example one simple get request, and we have fetch the JSON. So what else now? I think okay. So for the part first, we have used some kind of the we have used the, if I remember, it's been 4 days. I think we have used the sequential and concurrent type of a thing. So let's create another example called the number 3. We can say that multiple sequential requests, and of course this will be a slow kind of a thing. So for the multiple sequential requests, let me create the function first, then we will think how we can say that, how we can like create this example. Multiple, or we can say that sequential requests, and again we need to call it the box dynamic, and okay, and let's some room here, and we need to prompt the user that's by saying we have the example 3 is related to multiple sequential requests. Okay, so we have the multiple sequential request prompt, and now what? Of course, if there are multiple sequential requests, we need some kind of the loop, and we will limit that number for, I think we can say that for we can say the ID in 1 to 5. That's, and the first URL, and the URL of course will be the dynamic one. We can use the format URL will be URL, and the ID part will be dynamic, which will be in ID. So first time it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So now we have the URL. Okay, so what we need the post, which will be, yeah, I think post, and we can say that request get URL we have, and dot update dot JSON and dot update again. Okay, and every time we have to prompt and print to the user. You can say that post, or let's say it got post, and it should be a number, and then we should have to show the title as well, ID and post dot title. And one more thing, I think it's a sequential request, which will be definitely a slow, and for the slow part we should have to measure the time as well. Time should be, I think, first line? Not, I think the first line should be let's start equal to what we have the instant, and now, and we have to prompt the user that time taken and start elapsed. So I think our sequential requests function will be working fine. It's completed now. So let's just test that. Let's call it in our main function, and we have the fetch JSON. Now we have the sequential request or await. Okay, let's save it and try to test it out right again. Okay. Okay, so we have the example 3 running, post 1, 2, 3, and also I think we should have to prompt it, and what we have, why there are so many unused imports. Let me delete that first, and I think we can say that batching post sequentially. And this prompt should be there, and the idea is not dynamic. Let me try it again. Okay, so this time there will be no warnings of the imports, the unused imports. We have example 1, 2, and 3. And posts are running sequentially one by one, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. This is not concurrent, in the time second 3.27 seconds. You can easily see the time taken, and also I think we should have to add we should have to separate that part with the time taken, and also of course after that as well, so it will be much clearer now. Okay, so this one is the example 3, the multiple sequential request. Of course, now this fourth example will be related to the concurrent requests using, I think I join macro. This approach is the fast approach. Let's create the function first, and we can say that concurrent request, and box will be the dynamic, and okay, now what, let's make some room here. So again we have to prompt the user by saying that is the example 4 related to concurrent requests, and for the example 3 we have added. Okay, so we have prompt the user. Now what, we need the time to measure the time. For that we need to for that we have to use the instant now, and again we will print like the fetching concurrently. Or we can say that fetching posts. Okay, so this time we have to use the join macro, and because for the concurrent request we can't use the we have to use the, let me show you, there is a, we have it already in Tokio, and there is a join macro, and also for the join macro part I think this should be, because we will have to like concurrent request should be a multiple request, and for that I think we need some kind of the function which let me create that function, which will be a common function called the async function fetch, we can say that posts, and this will return the result post. We will return the post from that function, and dynamic MSG. Okay. So we need the URL. URL will be a string and format. We have to pass the const URL, and ID will be dynamic, and we need to use the ID here. It should be unsigned 32. Nothing so special about it, and we will pass the ID. So now we have the ID. Let's say we have the posts and not post. Post will be, it will be a request, and get we have the URL, and we will return it in the form of the JSON. So for the concurrent part, what we are going to do, we will say that, let's say we have the post 1, post 2, post 3, post 4, and post 5. Okay, and for the Tokio join part, we have already created the function called fetch posts, and fetch post will be of what we have to pass. We have to pass the 1, then we need to pass the 2, 3, and 4, and last one will be 5. Okay, so now we have passed the. So by the way, I have explained this the Tokio join and the sequential and concurrent part in the part first of the video, part 1 video, briefly. So please go and watch that first before coming to this one. So you will, because I'm not explaining everything here. So now we have the post, and what we can do now, we can say that we have the result, and that result will be enough of post 1, post 2, post 3, post 4, and post 5. And or we can say that post, no, not post, result will be okay. So we have the result in the every post 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but we can say that we have the result, and it will return the okay with the post. So now what, post, or we can say that dot post, and we just simply print the title of that post, and it will be is fine. Okay, so we have declared the start for the time. We can set that time taken and start dot elapsed. Okay, so everything is fine. So I think we can easily test it. Let's get it, edit. Okay, where is the main function? So this is the main function. You can say that concurrent request of create. So let me test it by okay, so the concurrent request is the fetching post sequentially. And we got all the posts. And also, let me search for one more thing. So time taken 10 seconds, and this is exactly the half second, 5 second time taken. And I think we should have to example 2, 3 will be and also I think not the time taken, we can easily say that the prompt should be called like the sequential time. This will be fine, and the second one will be the concurrent time. Okay, so what we have now, let's open the main function first. So main function have these, we have the cover the simple get request, then fetch JSON, and then we have the sequential request, and then the concurrent request, and we have here the time difference as well, which is a clear difference of the 10 and the 5 seconds, which is exactly the half second, like the half of a difference. Okay, and let me search for the Tokio create documentation. This is, I think, one more thing, like we have the join macro, but there's another macro which I clearly remember. I think it's related to the, let's say if there is the like the concurrent request and what was that? I think it's called the try join. Yeah, let me search for that. Where is the search here? Try join. Yeah, there's a macro called try join. So it's on a multiple. So yeah. So this one is like, let's say if there's during the concurrent request, if there's an error, then no other request will be processed and it will stop immediately on the first request. I think we should have to give it a try to this example as well. So this will be what, example 5. Yeah, I think example 5 will be called the concurrent request with try join macro. Async function will be called concurrent request. I think so we can call it the try join or what? I think we can say that what we have already the concurrent request. I think we should have to change the name to the concurrent request using the join. Should be a join macro, and also we need to update our because now we have the do thing. We have the okay. So this will be with concurrent request with try join. This will be a fine name. It's a little bit lengthy. Let me remove this request. I think we don't need it. And let me add we can say that the dynamic will be again the STT error. Okay, so let's check the documentation now. So we have the macro try join. Where is the code? Yeah. So I have opened the Tokio create documentation. You can easily open it. You can easily search for that. And there is the okay. So we have used the try join macro. Okay, so let me add that. You can say that in the documentation. So it's given the first we need to show that we have to edit the example. What is example 5? Concurrent request with try join. Also we have added the here. And after that we need to add the using try join macro stops. I think we can hear stops on first error. So the try join macro, if there is an error occur, it will immediately stop. No other request will be processed. So for that we can say that, let's say we define the 3 posts here: post 1, post 2, post 3, and what we need to do, we have to simply use the Tokio but try join macro, and also we have to use the question mark, because if the error occurred then it will handle it. And we have already the fetch post, pass the 1, fetch post 2, and fetch post 3. Concurrent request, concurrent with try join is the file name, I think. All succeeded here. And what we need to do, you can say that post 1 will have the post 1 dot title, and we have the post 2 will be post 2 dot title, and last one will be the post 3 and post 3 dot title. Right now there will be no error, but this is the perfect example to learn new thing. So we have the join macro, and also we have the try join. If you are like really want, like if there maybe there are so many possibilities of occurring error, so you can just do for the learning purpose I have showed this example as well. So let's test this. Also we need to call it first. I haven't called it, and we need to call the concurrent with, where is the try join? We have a try join, and wait. Let's try to run it. Okay, so using the try join stops on first error, all succeeded, and so we have the post 1, 2 and 3, which is okay, fine. Okay, so now what we have, the fetch simple get request, fetch JSON, sequential request, concurrent request with join, and concurrent with try join. What else? What else we can, like is there any, like let's say we have the concurrent request but dynamic approach for the both of these, for the both functions, concurrent with the try join and with the join macro. We have used the, we knew about, already knew about, before the runtime we knew about how many like posts we need to fetch. But let's say there is an example. I think this will be a complicated one, because we need to find a way about like how to handle the dynamic concurrent request. But we can say that dynamic concurrent request, and async function will be dynamic concurrent request, and result will be, of course, box dynamic. Okay, so let's make some room here first. Okay, and I'm sure this will be a complicated one. This example will be much complicated as compared to the other one, because so let's just prompt the user first. Okay, and example will be example 6, and the 6 will be what we can say that, example 6 will be dynamic concurrent request. Okay, so we have the what we can use for that. I think if there's a loop, and inside the loop we can call the fetch post, but that will be a sequential approach. Every loop will end, and one time the fetch post will call, the second time fetch post will be called, which is a sequential. It's not a concurrent. For the dynamic part, we need some approach, like a different kind of a thread, a task run async, and some kind of a thread, and all the like requests should be run in a parallel. And for that approach, there is one thing in the Tokio called the, we have just like we have the thread dot spawn, we have the, wait a second, where is the search? We have what do we have? Just search for this spawn. Task spawn Tokio. Okay, spawns of new asynchronous task returning a join handle. So let me open the join handle, and also you can easily search for these things. Just search for the Tokio create and you will get the documentation. Um, okay, this is code example. Here we have the, so the example they have given is the TCP listener example using the spawn Tokio spawn. Okay, so let's try to like call what we can easily call like, also this will be a dynamic, I think we need some kind of the ID as well, or IDs we can call, because when we call this function we have to pass the IDs which will be of a type of factor of 32, and what we can say that fetching posts concurrently, and we have the IDs which is the vector of 132, so we can easily get the length of that. Okay, so we have to define some kind of the handle here first. And also this is the concurrent request, we should have to check for the time. No. And okay, so according to documentation, we need the, let's say we have the, so on the left side we have all the, this is the dynamic approach and we have the IDs here, all the IDs. So for that we have the IDs in IDs, and now what, we will define the handle here. Now we are going to use the, according to documentation, the, it's a Tokio spawn, and as you can see this will expect the future. Okay, the spawn will expect the future. Spawn means a thread, a new thread. Okay, and we need this future to be async. Let me show you why. And we need the move as well. We have the post function, we are going to pass the ID, but we have to use the wait. That's why I have created this task, this handler to be async. And we have used the move because we are passing the ownership of ID to the fetch post. So now we have the handle, and also so for every request it will return the join handle. I have already opened the join handle, which is a struct, and an on permission to join on a task awaits its termination. Okay, you can easily search for the join handle struct. So what we can do now, we can say that for that reason I think we should have the handle, it should be immutable. Handles will be vector, okay, and handles will be handles dot push, and we only need to pass the handle, okay. And what else? For the time part, not the time part, we first have to, like, we have all the handles, we can say that for handle in handles, and we will match the handle dot await. We have the handle dot await because this Tokio spawn will return the uh, handle join, and handle join already have the request, so we have now request within a request, so we have the two requests. Keep in mind, keeping in mind that this is the tricky part, and as I have already mentioned that this function will be complicated as compared to the other function core examples. So now we have the okay. For the okay part, again we have the okay, but this time with the post, and we can say that for post title, and then again we need to call the error part as well. Request error, this will be a request error, and last will be of this match error, which we can say that task error, which is we have created using the Tokio spawn. Task error, okay. Actually the code example was so this example it's called the process each socket concurrently. Hmm, what else? I think we can test it. Maybe a tricky one. Why this? Actually, they have code inside the. So let's. I think we can test it. Let me save this and go to the. Let's call it. What's the function name? What we have called it? Uh, okay, so it's a dynamic. Sorry, it's a dynamic concurrent request, and ID will be of the vector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and let's try this. Okay, so we have the box. Why we okay? Required by a bound in this function, send required by this bound in spawn. So let's search for this error. And search for this error. Why do you want this error? So according to documentation, actually they call it. Okay. Okay, so this will be a tricky one. Okay. Okay, so we are getting this error because the spawn like need we have used the actually let's say we have passed the 10 IDs. So these 10 IDs will be like running parallelly, concurrently, and let's say if the one task is paused, one fetch post is paused, and it can happen like it can pause on the one thread, like resume it on another and complete it on the third one. So maybe multiple threads involved. Spawn means a thread, spawn equal to thread, so keep in mind spawn equal to thread. So if the multiple threads involved, then we should have to like we have return the error type with the box, and we need to move the error safely to the other threads as well. So for the safety reason, we need to add one thing which will be I think we should have to update all the function return type. Just the box dynamic standard error will be we only have to add, we need two things. So for that what we can say as and error, we will replace it with the but plus, and what do we need? We need the send. I will explain it why we have used it, and the sync. Also we haven't like this is the send and sync. After this, when I search this and it explained this thing, and one more thing we haven't used the time here. We have to call the time start dot elapsed. Okay, so now let me show you what we done here. So as you can see, you will check that we have added the send plus sync. What is send? Send means if you want to move things from one thread to another, it should be a safely move. Send is for the move. And what is sync? Sync will be used for the sharing things between the multiple threads. And as I've mentioned earlier, if the spawn like pause the text, pause the task on one thread, resume it on another thread, and complete it on the third thread. For that reason, we have the error, and error should be in a different type and a different format. We should have to safely move that error to different threads, and for that reason, we need some kind of the permission, and we need to allow it. And Rust don't want that. Rust like in a combination with the Tokio doesn't want to allow this. You should have to use the plus 10 plus sync with the result, so we can move the errors safely. So that's why. And also if I show you the send part, you can clearly see it's a thread and types that can be transferred across thread boundaries, and this should be of course which is for the safe to share reference between threads. So send is for the like move part, and the sync is for the sharing one. This is a simple thing we should have to add. And I knew like this function is like a complicated one. There are so much going on in one function as compared to the other examples. This one is complicated as well, And also we have the two OKs in the like the match in the result part, because the spawn return the handle join, the join handle, sorry, and join handle will have the request, and inside that request we have another request. Okay, so I think we should have to give it a try again, and let me test this. I'm sure this will work fine this time. Yeah, it worked. We got the all the posts, all the 10 posts. So now what? I think it should be enough for the get part. Let's focus. Let's try to create an example for the post one as well. Like how async post will be work. So I think we should create the another example, and also one more thing. This was example 6, and we will create another example which will be of 7. Example 7 will be related to post requests. Okay, post request, and we will create a function called create. Hey, sorry about that. Let me I have talked for so long and it was continuous. I was really sorry about that. So we have to create the new post, and the new post will be call the result, and result will be box. So this is example 7, and we have to prompt the user first. It's the example 7 post, or we can say that not a post request, create new post. Create new post. So we have prompt user. What do we need now? We need the new post, and this will be of type new post. I think we should have to, because now we need to serialize the Rust struct to the JSON, and we have to pass it to the JSON. For that reason, we need to serialize it, and we need another struct called, I think think the new post, and the new post will be the first thing will be title. We need to pass the title, body, and we don't have to pass the ID because it was automatically generated by the endpoint. We need the yeah, we have to use the rename again. This time the user ID and then sign 32. Okay, so we have to use we have to add the attribute derived will be, I only need a serialize. And now this error will be gone. Yeah. So we have the new post, and the new post will be of course type of new post, and we will call the new post. New post. Title will be what will be title? Title will be the Rust Async, yeah, and body will be learning async HTTP client, and also we have to change it to string, and this one as well. And also we have to pass the user ID, which will be 1. So now we have the new post. Now we need some kind of the client. So for the client part, we can say that request dot and client will be new. And now we need the response from the client, and we are going to use the, wait a second, let me search for the request create. Okay, request create. Okay, where is the documentation? Okay, so going to the documentations for the request. Okay, so we have the client and okay, so this time so we have the client. I have instantly used the two columns, but we need to pass the URI, and then we have the await JSON. It's the that the documentation. Client. Okay, I was searching in the wrong place. Sorry about that. We have the client request, and let me search for the post. We have the post. Okay, we don't have to use the await here, and we can say that which URL we have to pass the URL, and going to documentation we have to pass the JSON, but the this should be of a type, I think. We have to pass it by reference, and then we have to use the send then await. Okay, sorry, my bad. So we have the response. Now we can say that response status will be response dot status, and now what? Let me call this created will be a new post, and we have the response dot await, or we can say that dot json dot await. I think it's in the documentation. Let me search for any kind of the await thing we have. We can easily handle that. Yes, I think it will be after this. We can say that post created, and post will be, we have to show the created post. This is the new post, and also why I'm getting this error. Post created. Maybe I have to use the oh, okay, sorry, my bad. It's the created post, and it should be not be of a type post. It should be a post only. Yeah, it will work fine now. So let me add this. Now let's try to, what we can say. We can say new create new or create post or wait, and it's fine. Let me run it. Not exact, sorry. We have to run it. Okay, so example 7, create new post. So response status will be 2, and then when it's created, and post created the post. User ID is 101, and Rust Async, body learning async, HTTP client. Let me run it again. Okay, it's working fine. So what now? Anything else? I think we should create one more example. Where is the Tokio? Uh, is it Tokyo? There's one thing which I remember. I think we can handle the timeout handling as well. Let me search for what that thing is. A timeout. I think it's a function in Tokyo. Wait a second. Let me search for the timeout. we have the struct and we have the function as well, and it requires a future. I think this one is that was that function. Yeah, this was the function timeout. Okay, so I think we should have to create the last example related to this timeout, and this will accept the, you can easily search for the timeout function. It's a function in Tokio, create, and this function will accept the duration and the future. So let's what we can say, we can create the example 8, which will be what we can call, it's related to the timeout, so we can say that timeout handling, and the function will be async requests with timeout. I think this is a proper name. And of course we need to call the result and box be dynamic plus, but we have the sand, not sand plus sync, and it's a function. Okay, and we have to prompt the user first that we can say that example 8, example 8 will be request. I think this should be a proper name. According to the documentation, it's called the timeout, so we will have to use the timeout. We can say that not that request with timeout. Okay. Now we need to fetch things. We can say that fetching with timeout. Also, let me scroll to the code. We have passed the duration. We need to pass the duration and also the future. And say that. Okay, so we have the result. Result will be only one this time. We will call the fetch post one time, and we have the Tokio. It's not Tokio timeout. We should have to use the timeout directly by saying that timeout but from Tokio, and we, as you can see, the intelligence mentioned that first thing will be a duration and the second will be a future. So duration will be from second will be 5, and we have to pass the future will be fetch post will be 1, but we have to use the await now. Wait a second, let me search for the await. Yeah, we have the await. So we have the await. Now what we can say, I think we can easily print the also one more thing. This timeout will return the result, and also will our fetch post also have the result. So we have the two results, and also we don't have to call the timeout on the result. We can say that okay, and again okay will have the post, which we will can easily print out. Got post and title, and again the post this time will be error. Error will be, this will be a request error, and last will be simple the underscore. I think we can say that timeout. Also we have to return the okay mode. Yeah, all the errors get removed. One more thing, let me remove all these lines. We don't need it now because this was the last example. Let me save it. We move to line number 1, then we check for the main function, and we can say that it's a timeout. The function name of the request with timeout, and this is the last example. Let's hope for the best and maybe it will work. I hope it will work. So example 3 is running, then example 4, then 5, 6, 7, and last one is 8, fetching with timeout and got post. Okay, so we are showing the title to the user. Let me run it again. Okay, so I think this timeout should have to work from seconds. I have used it properly. Let me search for that. I'm doing from seconds. It's fine, I think. And we have passed according to documentation, everything is right. So that's it for the part 2 of our series, the async, and we have checked the HTTP client. In this section, we have checked for the 8 examples. Also, we have used the get and the post request as well. And one more thing, I think I should have to add the again for the not the part 2, which will be a you can say that async, or you can say that HTTP client, or you can say that Rust Async HTTP client, and cargo.toml dependencies, and dependencies will be let me save this and grab the dependency. We have used the request in JSON. Also the Tokio will be of this part as well. And we need to open the main file, and we can paste it. Okay, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this line break. Just add the, actually I am adding these comments and for every video. So when you guys open the because I will push the code and add the link in the description. So if you want to, you are watching the part 2, you will have an idea that what part 2 dependency we need and anything else. So from the dependencies you will get that these are the dependency we need for this part, and these are related to the our file. Let me not that. Let me save this. Let me save it. Rust Async. Also, I think we should have to hit the Rust Async fundamentals here as well. So only dependency for this part one we had need the Tokio, but also I think we should have to create the what we can say that part two, HTTP client rs will be name, and we will open the and we will paste it here. So let me check for the part 2, and part 2 code is here added, and let me delete these. And we will simply create a main function here with the by saying that hello world, nothing else. Okay, so let's try to run last time. Let's try to run every file. Cargo run dash bin part 1 fundamentals. Okay, okay, so and again now this time it will be a part second. Part 2 will be which is named HTTP client. Yeah, it's working. So I have arranged all the code, I have arranged all the files, so you guys can easily learn and run on your machines, and you can easily run every part. Also, I think we should have to run for the run bin async demo, which is our main file, and now we got the hello world. Okay, so this is our so this is the complete code. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I know this one like a sum of the function, except like almost every other function was simple, but except that dynamic concurrent one, there was so much going on in that function. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned new thing. And I know this video is so lengthy because there are so many things. There are 8 examples which we explore, and there were so many things which we need to run it again, and there were grades involved. I have to check the documentation as well, so that why it took me so long like to obviously the video will be lengthy, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in the next part. Take care. Bye.